Hello everyone, Carmine from New York here, photographer in Manhattan since 1973. It's my pleasure to give you these free photography classes. This class is number 354. You can imagine how many questions I've gotten in the comments and on my email, my personal email, which I encourage everyone to ask me a question, blackandwhitephoto@aol.com. Ask me questions, and you never know, I might answer them here on my channel. Okay, let's just jump right into it. I'm going to answer some of the thousands of questions I get. The time wouldn't allow me to answer all of them. So let's jump in. Okay, question. When you're not taking photos, what do you do? Well, three things come to mind. First, I spend time with my family. I'm married, I have children, and my children have children, and I play with my grandchildren when they come over and visit. And I have two beautiful Yorkies that sometimes you hear them barking in the background. And I also do this. I love to bake bread. My wife is a former professional baker. She's taught me everything I know about baking bread, and it shows. Okay, next question. Did you ever go to school for photography? And the answer is yes. In the 70s, when I wanted to become a professional photographer, there was no internet. You couldn't go on the internet and just learn photography on websites like mine, this channel, Carmine Taverna Photography, and learn photography for free. No, you had to go into a brick and mortar school. And when that wasn't nearby or affordable, you could do, back in the 70s, correspondence school. And I graduated from the School of Modern Photography. I have over 1,400 hours of training. It started back at my 3 years of photography schooling in high school. My photography professor there was Mr. Robert Lonigan. He was a professional photographer and a teacher. He was an educator. And for 2 hours every day for 3 years, he taught us photography in the classroom, darkroom techniques, and in the field photo trips. So in total, between my high school 3 years photography and the School of Modern Photography, it's over 1,400 hours of professional training to be a photographer. Do you have brand loyalty when it comes to cameras and lenses? And the answer is no. This sign up here, I get a lot of questions about it. It's just a tin sign you can buy on Amazon. I am not an authorized dealer. It just looks cool. And you'll see around the whole studio, I have the logos to nearly every camera company out there. It just makes the studio look cool. I am fortunate enough that over the last 50 years to have used cameras from Agfa all the way to Yashica and all brands in between. What is your go-to camera? First of all, it doesn't matter what camera you use. The lens is more important than the camera. And believe me, the most important thing about taking a photograph is you. It's not the camera and it's not the lens. What was your first camera? Well, it's funny. It was when I was 10, I was given a quarter, 25 cents, to go to this flea market or a tag sale or a yard sale, whatever you call it in your neck of the woods. And I bought a plastic Diana medium format 120 film size camera. Today they're very popular for lomography, but back then when I was 10, now we're talking about in the 60s, it was just a camera. It was an inexpensive plastic camera. And I took many photographs with it. Had the film developed by Kodak up in Rochester. You would go to any pharmacy and you would bring your film and they would ship it, and then 10 days later, you would have to go to the pharmacy, pick up your negatives and your pictures. And that really was how I spent my youth, taking pictures before I went to photography school and high school. So then once I started being serious about photography, right? Your first day of photography school in high school, the teacher says, look, I have 60 students and I have 12 cameras. So if you can, ask your parents to go get you a camera. And I did just that. My parents backed me up 100%. They were very encouraging. And this is it. This is my camera that I first used. Seriously, it's a Yashica Electro AX 35mm film camera. And it still goes today. It still shoots today. Very well made camera. The school had all Pentax Spotmatics that they bought, and those are great cameras. Your favorite film? Well, I have two favorites. I use everything. One, back in the day, it was Kodak Tri-X, right? 400 ASA or ISO film. Then there was Plus X and Panatomic X, right? But let's fast forward to today. My favorite's at HP5 from Ilford that I use professionally. But when I want to go and just take photographs for this channel or myself to hang on the wall, I actually use a product called Shanghai GP3. Right. Do you have a darkroom? Yes. And yes. What I mean by that is, yes, I have a darkroom, and yes, I have to share it. It's the laundry room. My wife is very easygoing. If I tell her, listen, I'll be in the dark room, she says, okay, I'll put off doing the laundry till you're done. It's great. Here's two pictures of what it looks like. I use a changing bag, right? It's a tent that stays up. The changing bags that just lie flat and you have to fight it when you're loading your reels, I don't like those. So I have this, it's an actual tent that stays up. So you're free to load your film onto the reels and put them in the tanks. It's wonderful. And developing your film, you can do it with the lights on because it's in a light-proof container, right? Now, I've stopped using an enlarger and developing the paper. I've just gave that up because of space, and it takes too much time and the expense. It's much easier now when I photograph with film, develop the film, and put it in the scanner and load it on my computer and just go from there. Print the pictures or put them on the internet. But that's what I do now. So I developed my own film, but I don't enlarge them anymore. I had, back in the day, Bogen, B-O-G-E-N, one of the most common enlargers. But here's the key that nobody tells you when you buy an enlarger. It's the lens that matters. And right in high school, I said, I don't understand. I know I focused this picture really well in the camera. And then when you go to enlarge it, it just didn't look right. And the photography teacher, Mr. Robert Lanigan, goes, are you using the enlarging lens that came with the enlarger? It's a piece of garbage, really. So he said, let's go to Haybold, which was a camera store in Staten Island. And we went, and he helped me pick out a EL Nikon. EL is their enlarging lens line of Nikon lenses, and it made all the difference in the world. So if you have an enlarger and you're using a standard garbage enlarging lens, you may be using a garbage lens and don't even know it. If you're not using an EL Nikon enlarging lens, you are doing a disservice to yourself. And one more thing, when you're using that lens, an EL Nikon enlarging lens, use it on f8. Why? Because even with enlarging lenses, like photographic lenses on a camera, f8 is the sharpest f-stop, even on an enlarging lens. Do you shoot RAW or JPEG? Yes, I shoot both. When you're out photographing, shoot both. It'll make two files, one RAW, one JPEG. Now, when I'm shooting with the Leica SL, the JPEG, I have that go in monochrome. This way, I have a monochrome Leica type black and white shot all ready to go, and I have the RAW, of course, which is color. All right. Do you edit your photos? Yes, you have to. It's the same thing. Like, I don't know, after 50 years, so many people are hung up on this. I only show people straight out of camera photos. Why? That's not photography. It's as if a chef said, I only take the steak, I cut it raw from the big side of beef, and I put it on a plate and I serve it raw to my guests. Are you crazy? You have to edit your photographs before you let anybody see them. You can control it. You have control. Listen, when Ansel Adams took photographs in the desert or in the Rockies, he edited those photographs. How did he edit them? He used dodging and burning tools. You have to do that today, but today we have so much more assistance in photo editing, right? Saturation, focus. We can get rid of some of the noise from a digital photograph, or even some of the grain from a film photograph. Do not get hung up with this theory, which is wrong, right out of camera, purity. No. If a painter like Michelangelo, okay, his whole work of art was edited, okay? Did you ever see angels with wings? No. He edited wings onto his paintings. You have to understand, you have to get a grip on what the art of photography is. It's to make your photographs look the best they can. The exception is photojournalism. When I'm taking a photograph of a crime scene, the only thing I'll edit is the cropping. That's about it. Because you can't mess with facts when you're doing factual photography. Okay. Which video of yours has the most views? Well, there's two that run neck and neck. One is how to kill lens fungus, and the other one is Nikon D700 videos. You guys should check them out. Now, this is cool. What photography channels do I watch? Very simple. I have 4 favorite photography channels in no particular order. I watch Shoot Film Like a Boss, Vahography, The Georgia Photographer, and yes, I watch The Angry Photographer. Ken Wheeler is currently on a different journey. His 5,000 photography videos on lenses and cameras are still up, and they have tens of thousands of views for a very good reason. Ken Wheeler is, he calls himself the lens god. I don't know if I would use that term, but he knows his stuff. And now, when I'm not watching photography videos on YouTube, what do I watch? Very simple. I watch stand-up comedian from here in New York, Mark Normand. Mark Normand is a stand-up comedian that has taken this country by storm. Tell us about your YouTube studio. This studio. Well, this studio is in my man cave. It's in the back. Kind of decorated to be interesting, to be colorful, and why not? Right? We're in the arts. All right. The camera I use is the Samsung A35. It's a cell phone. Oh, what video editing software do you use to edit these YouTube videos? It's called Movavi, Movavi. If you could give advice to be more successful on your YouTube channel, what would you say? Post a full-length video at least once a week. Full length means about 8 minutes. 8 minutes. Post a short, YouTube Shorts, right? Very popular because people are on the go. They don't have much time. So post a 15-second to 60-second short every single day called community. And there you could post a photograph, you could post a survey, you could post pretty much anything today. And so this has been Carmine from New York answering your questions. Subscribe, thumbs up, comment below, and have a great day.